I got the lieutenant governor's part as well.
Okay, great. We should move that up, Commissioner. Yeah. And then I go from there, and then I go right into the. Okay. Great. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's the. When I needed the stats for the. Yeah, I'm just gonna say the numerous case. I'm just gonna shoot from the hip on that one. And then I don't think I need that. I'm gonna. Yeah. What I want.
Whatever you want.
Maybe just well, not just. We won't be able to sell windows from there.
So that's what your dialogue's all about.
That's what it is.
Just business.
Just
Window
business.
business.
Window business. Sell windows.
We should move this item here.
You're still a little slow side.
It's picking up. We're starting, but we have stuff that won't hit now. And can I call you back?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Timing.
Oh, the lag time. Yeah.
I think it'll be a good.
No.
Big contracts on the books, but
Yeah.
it's just the hurry up and wait process.
Yeah.
okay. That's fine. You're the boss.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our annual State of the Town address. Today is January 24th. Clerk, can we have roll call, please? Here?
Here.
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 And at this time, we will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to go to item 4, approval of the agenda. Is there any changes to the agenda as presented? I would like to move matters 6A to after 5, if that's okay with the council. If that's okay, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So move. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next, we will go to number 5, but before we go to number 5, I would like to welcome some dignitaries that are in the audience at this time. I would like to welcome Michelle Hawkes Ortiz, Field Representative for Senator Tom Udall's office. Welcome and thank you. An individual that's always supportive of the town of Taos and has worked hard in his past career as mayor of the town of Taos, Eloy Gentet, former mayor of the town of Taos. Welcome. From Taos Pueblo, we'd like to welcome War Chief Samuel G. Gomez and Lieutenant War Chief Matthew E. Montoya and Lieutenant Governor Curtis D. Sandoval. From Taos County, we have the honor of Commissioner Tom Blankenhorst's present. Commissioner, welcome. We also have Deputy County Manager Rick Bellis in the audience. Welcome. From the village of Cuesta, no stranger to Taos, Cuesta Administrator and Volunteer Fire Chief Jim Fambro. Welcome. From the village of Eagle Nest, Councilor Jeff Carr. Welcome to our State of the Town. From Kit Carson Electric Co-op, Luis Reyes, CEO. And from First Community Bank, Rose Vargas. I hope I didn't miss anyone. From U.S. Bank, I'm sorry. Still used to the days of First State Bank. And then, of course, we have the honor of our Honorable Judge Chavez, Dicky Chavez. Welcome. At this time, we'd like to move to item 5A, years of service pins. At this time, I'd like to ask Councilor Abeta to assist me with the presentation of the years of service pins. And we're going to do the 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. We do this because we believe that it is very important as employers of the town of Taos, running a business, and as mayor of the town of Taos. We believe in loyalty to an organization, and we appreciate their commitment and loyalty at all these respective levels. So at this time, we'd like to honor those individuals that have completed 5 years. And we'd like to call up Mr. Rudy E. Valdez, a public fleet journeyman mechanic. Is he in the audience, French? Okay. Edward Ramsey. Mr. Ramsey is the GIS technician for the town of Taos. Mr. Matthew S. Martinez, Public Works Operator 1. Janelle Lucero Romo, Library Assistant. If we could stay up here for a picture, gentlemen. And ladies. Dina C. Gonzalez, Youth and Family Administrative Assistant.
Congratulations.
Scarlett G. Espinosa, Information Specialist 2. Michelle Hammer, Visitor Center Supervisor. Lupe M. Lopez, Information Specialist 2. Ellen M. Sanchez, Public Affairs and Tourism Assistant. Clarice A. Trujillo, Information Specialist 1. Peggy L. Ward, Transit Operator 1. Sharon L. Voigt, Finance Assistant. Tammy L. Romero, Public Utilities Assistant. Carmen I. Gonzalez, Customer Service Technician. Angel S. Vigil, Librarian 1. Edward J. Abeta, Firefighter 2. And George R. Jaramillo, Library Services Director. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the employees that have completed their 5-year tenure with the town of Taos. Thank you for your loyalty and commitment to the town of Taos. On behalf of the mayor and council, thank you. Is anyone taking official pictures? So we could take 5.
Squeeze them in. Or get them out there.
Walk this way.
Crunch in, crunch in. Closer, closer. Be friendly. Be friendly.
Better smile, Tabby. Carmen. Congratulations.
Smiles. Good to see you.
At this time, before we continue, I'd like to ask the town manager Rodriguez and also Councilor Peralta to join me on the presentation of the 10-year employees. And first we start off with the Fleet Maintenance Superintendent, Mario Montoya. The Town of Taos Senior Planner, Rudy D. Perea. The Public Utilities Foreman, Eric Frescas. Public Utilities Operator 1, Francisco Gonzalez. Okay. Those are the 10-year employees. At this time, I'd like to call Mayor Pro Tem Andrew Gonzalez to join us to present the 15-year employees. And we will start off with Customer Service Manager for Public Utilities, and billing is Debbie Vigil Medina. James T. Salazar. Now, I want you to give that one a hard time for not being here, okay? Okay, Edward Medina, Swimming Pool Supervisor. Our Finance Director, Marietta Fambro. And our Public Works Director, Francisco French Espinosa. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the employees that have completed 15 years with the Town of Taos. I'd like to ask Councilor Silva to come up for the 20-year presentation. Completing 20 years with the Town of Taos is Public Works Operator 3, Dennis Martinez. And Mr. Martinez is the only individual completing 20 years at this time. Before we present the Mayor's Excellent and Achievement Award, I want to introduce the council. And as Mayor of the Town of Taos, it gives me great honor and pleasure to serve with these individuals that have a wealth of experience and how energetic they are and committed to working on behalf of the citizens. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the council members, starting with the Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Andrew Gonzalez. Councilor Michael Silva. No stranger to town government, former mayor of the Town of Taos and Councilor Fred Peralta. Councilor Rudy Abeta. And the guy that makes it all happen as far as meshing the day-to-day operations and following policy, and I'm so honored to serve with this guy with his wealth of experience, coming from different communities that he just brings a wealth of experience, and it's really refreshing for the town of Taos at the management level to bring Oscar Rodriguez, who's really done a phenomenal job in a short time. And an individual that I want to personally thank for keeping the ship afloat for a long time. It was bumpy there for a while, but Abigail did a phenomenal job in ensuring that the day-to-day operations continued. And how about a big round of applause for our Assistant Town Manager, Abigail Adame. And one of the newest additions to the town of Taos as a director, this guy is no nonsense, one of the best attorneys that I've had the honor of serving with and working with, Mr. Brian James, that's on the stage. So at this time we will present the Mayor's Excellence and Achievement Award, and I'm mixing up my papers here, so I always have a habit of doing that. So I want to make sure that I don't do that. And actually, council members, I apologize, but I skipped the item that we amended the agenda. I noticed my notes. So let's, before we get to the Mayor's Excellence and Achievements Award, let's go to item A, Resolution 13-01, Open Meetings Resolution. Ladies and gentlemen, this resolution is something we do at the annual State of the Town address so that citizens know what our meeting schedule is for the forthcoming year. And it is consideration and approval of Resolution 13-01, Open Meetings Resolution. This resolution establishes the schedule of regular town council meetings and constitutes reasonable notice of such meetings. Members of the council, you received the resolution. I know that last year we changed the meetings from 1:30 to 6:30. I have received inquiries from citizens saying that there's a gap between 5:30 or 5 when they get out of work. They have to go home and then possibly attend the meeting. So I'm just letting you know that I'm not attached to the time, but letting you know that there has been some citizens that would prefer them more closer to getting out of work, such as 6 o'clock or perhaps 5:30. But I'll yield to the council, and what is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I have no problem moving the meeting to 5:30 or 6 o'clock, either one, and I think it's in the best interest of our citizens that we accommodate to their needs.
Before we get into any other discussion, Mr. Manager, from an operational standpoint, do you have a preference?
No, sir.
No, sir. I'm not attached either way. So.
I'd like to make a comment, and that is that the feedback that I've received, 6:30 seems to work for the people that I've spoken to.
Okay. Is everybody okay with leaving them the same? I'm okay with leaving them the same. There wasn't an abundance of calls, it's just a few calls I just wanted to let you know. So.
Yeah, it's not an issue for me. We can bring it down to 5:30 or leave it as is. It's not a problem.
So why don't we leave it as is, unless we'll monitor and maybe put in our next utility billing if citizens would want to comment on that, and we always have the right to change it if we need to. Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, next we'll go to the recognition of Mayor's Excellence and Achievement Award. At this time, I would like to do something different here, only because it was a tough decision. And I usually award this, it's really the mayor's choice, but I weigh heavily on the manager's recommendation based on interaction with departments and their involvement with the council throughout the year on policy, and how that interaction, what was the success of the many projects that they had going. I couldn't make one decision, and I chose two. I almost chose 3 or 4, but they said, well, then it's not a Mayor's Excellence Award then, you know, so, but I knew that 2 definitely were very, very deserving. So at this time, I would like to ask the Director of Public Works to come up and the Director of our Legal Department to come up at this time. These 2 ladies and gentlemen have accomplished what most people would say is not accomplishable. I've always said that, and many of you have heard me say this over and over, that government will work as slow as you allow it and as fast as you push it. I'm proud to say that all the directors get that. These 2 directors went over and beyond in pushing government to work on your behalf. I'd like to start off with the legal department. Before, we had 2 attorneys, 1 paralegal, and numerous contracts for attorneys out there. And there was times where the other attorneys said, well, we need more attorneys. And no offense to attorneys, Commissioner Blankenhorn, but sometimes people just get wrapped around the axle, like Councilor Abeta says, and just nothing gets done. Well, I'm here to say that this gentleman, Brian James, is a no-nonsense type of guy that gets things done because he knows that time is money, and he knows the council wants to resolve issues quickly and swiftly. He single-handedly, alongside with his, of course, the paralegal, Cindy Pettis, has achieved so much in such a short time. I think Mr. James came on board in May sometime, and I can't tell you how refreshing it is to get things done from a legal perspective. When that stuff gets done, when there's a memo saying, yes, you can do this, instead of, well, let me research, well, it depends, well, let's see what we can do. It is very refreshing. From the numerous cases that he has resolved, and I'm going to explain that in depth, from the condemned buildings that we were able to move forward, the procurement issues, special contracts, lawsuits that were coming in, Mr. James and the legal department have swiftly resolved these issues, many long-standing issues that were really burdening the legal department. So it is my pleasure to present this 2012, which is last year's Mayor's Excellence and Achievement Award, presented to the legal department. The mayor and the town council commend the legal department for taking great strides to close out numerous long-standing cases and achieving major savings for the town. Your dedication and contributions to the town are greatly appreciated. Presented this 24th day of January 2013, Mayor Darren Cordova, Councilmember Rudy Abeta, Councilmember Andrew Gonzalez, Councilmember Frederick Peralta, Councilmember Michael Silva, the Town Manager Oscar Rodriguez, and the Assistant Town Manager Abigail Adame. Congratulations to you and your department for doing an excellent job.
This is a team effort, and we've gotten off to a good start. I'm not a particularly modest person, so I'll tell you we got off to a real good start. And a huge part of that is the experience and assistance of Cindy Perez, and I want to take this rare opportunity to publicly thank her and acknowledge her contribution.
These 2 individuals have really carried a lot on their shoulders, and thank you on behalf of the town of Taos. Congratulations. Next, we have another modest gentleman, and he gets things done in the trenches, literally. It's my honor that to present this award twice to the Public Works Department because of their outstanding achievements. under the leadership of Francisco French Espinosa. Some of their 2012 accomplishments is they completed and fabricated 20 solar panel powered bus shelters. The total project cost is $117,000. The recycling department constructed and renovations to the recycling facility, which included a self-baler and installation of photovoltaic solar system. The total project cost was $308,000. The landfill completed the first phase of permit modification that will allow for the disposal of sludge from the Taos Regional Wastewater Treatment Facility, saving the town of Taos thousands of dollars. The streets completed phase 2 of the Estes Road Extension CDBG project. Total project cost was $551,000. And let me tell you about this project. The state of New Mexico awards $500,000 a year, and they give strict timelines to finish these projects. But some of the bureaucracies and paperwork that's needed to complete this, sometimes it takes 2 years under normal circumstances. We push the limit along with the manager, the department, along with finance, to ensure that we timely complete these projects. And in many cases, they're a 6-month project condensed to about a 45-day project, and French was able to complete them by holding contractors accountable and working within and pushing government to work for you. So now that qualifies the town of Taos to go again for another $500,000 grant by timely finishing these projects. I was commended at one of these public CDBG hearings is the town of Taos serves as a role model for finishing these projects every year and going for the numerous times just to get that $500,000, because if you qualify for, if they fund you for phase 1, they're gonna fund you for phase 2. But if you miss that funding cycle, you lose out on $500,000. So it's so important that we complete these projects, and French was able to do that. They completed construction projects of Del Norte Lane, which included underground stormwater and roadway paving, $302,000. They completed the design for Old Talpa Cañon Road, $38,000. They completed this installation of a 500 feet, 8-inch sewer line on Dillon Lane. Total project cost, $48,000. The Public Works Department, aside from that, as if Mr. Espinosa didn't have enough to do, the Public Works Department also now has inherited the Public Utilities Department, which includes all our wastewater and water lines and the oversight of our wastewater treatment facility. It is for this reason that I believe that French, under his leadership, and the employees of the Public Works deserve the Mayor's Excellence Award as well. So at this time, it gives me great honor to present to Mr. Espinosa this and the employees of Public Works this 2012 Mayor's Excellence and Achievement Award presented to Public Works Department. The Mayor and Council commend Public Works Department for getting major infrastructure improvement projects done even in the face of tough economic times and near impossible deadlines. Thank you for your dedication, ingenuity, and commitment to the community of the town of Taos. Presented this 24th day of January 2013, the Mayor and Council. Thank you. Thank you, French. French is a role model employee for the town of Taos, and we thank him. So at this time, I'd like to deliver the State of the Town address. Members of the council, distinguished guests, Town of Taos employees, and Town of Taos citizens, welcome to the annual State of the Town address. And also, as we welcomed earlier, welcome dignitaries as well to our State of the Town address. I am honored to stand before you and welcome you here today. The purpose of the State of the Town address is to give you a brief summary of the state of the town as it relates to the town's financial condition. To give you a report on how our budget projections have fared, and a brief review of each department's budgets and services to you, the community. Tonight, I want to speak on how we will move forward in 2013, and ultimately let you know, the citizens of this beautiful community, how we will continue to lay out a solid foundation for fiscal and financial accountability. At a time when many municipalities are having furloughs, layoffs, cutbacks, or even worse, operating in the red and being reactive to declining revenues, we are not one of those municipalities. We are the town of Taos, a town that has been thinking smarter, proactively, and effectively, and successfully planning for this economic reality. By closely monitoring our revenues and managing our expenditures according to those revenues, and through the leadership of this mayor and council, town manager, department heads, and employees of the town of Taos, the town of finances remain without a doubt very solid and in the black and stable. The town of Taos has taken actions that have allowed us to weather this economic downturn. We have had to make tough decisions. Some of those tough decisions are very hard to make, and that includes cutting funding to many deserving nonprofits. Some of those nonprofits are very, very crucial to this town of Taos, such as the Men's Homeless Shelter, TCA's Children's Programming, Taos Sports Alliance, UNM Adult Learning Center. Those are just a few that we've had to make the tough decisions. The mayor and council have had to have that political will to balance the budgets to ensure that our core responsibilities, public health, safety, welfare, and infrastructure, are not sacrificed to support the deserving nonprofits. These are tough decisions. The management has kept all staff. Departments continue to institute across-the-board budget cuts. Through attrition, we have not had to do layoffs, furloughs. We continue to ask department heads and employees of the town of Taos to do more with less. That's the environment that we're in. And I would like to really thank the employees of the town of Taos for taking up that challenge. We have no choice. We have to do that. So thank you to the employees. How about a big round of applause to the employees of the town of Taos? During all this, we still don't forget that we have to invest in our infrastructure. And you just saw an example of one of the departments, such as Public Works, that continue to invest, while many municipalities are saying we're not going to invest anymore because we can't balance the budget. We're balancing our budgets while maintaining our commitment to the citizens of the town of Taos and investing in our infrastructure. We also have continued to market the town of Taos because we feel that's very important. We haven't decreased our marketing budget. We've actually increased it from last year to the level of $529,000. I believe because of our commitment in funding and marketing the town of Taos at that level, the state awarded us an additional $40,000 because they saw we were helping ourselves. That is the reason I believe we're successful in the many grant applications that we apply for, because we're not going for a handout. We're going to the state as a partner in investing in northern New Mexico, because when the state of New Mexico invests in Taos, they invest in the state of New Mexico. So I want to talk a little bit about the finances. And at this time, I'd like to just thank Marietta Fambro for her leadership in the finance department and making sure that we know all about the finances and where we're at. And we're having to closely monitor where we're at on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. I'd like to thank the manager and assistant manager for working closely with finance to ensure that the mayor and council get accurate information so that when we're making these decisions, we know we're well informed. The annual general budget, the annual general fund operating budget for this fiscal year is $10,412,519. The total budget for the town of Taos is $32,805,900. $844,978. That includes the 1/12th reserve required by state, which is $867,709. I want to let you know how the gross receipts have fared when you do a 3-year comparison. And this is through December 31st, 2012. When you compare that same time period of 2010, 2011, our gross receipts were about $5.8 million. When you compare that to the following year, 2011, 2012, you're at $5.4 million. When you compare that to 2012, 2013, we're at $5.2 million. So in that time span, we've seen about a $600,000 decline. It has to be made up somewhere. So you see the cuts that we've had to make is a direct result because the gross receipts, our core revenue, has declined by that amount. Based on the declines that we're seeing, we're projected to end the fiscal year at a negative about 6% from the prior year. That translates to about a $412,000 shortfall versus what we budgeted. And I say versus what we budgeted because we didn't expect such a decline, sharp decline. Many individuals say that we're pacing on an uptrend. I believe that the town of Taos was last to get into the recession, and it appears that we're last to get out of it. The $412,000 shortfall has already been made up. We've identified this amount through personal cost savings, insurance savings, overtime cuts, and in other areas of operating. This is attributed to the constant monitoring of our budget and where we can be very, very fiscally responsible with your tax dollars. And I commend the finance director, our town manager, and our assistant town manager, as well as each and every one of the directors of the town of Taos for ensuring that we're offering the best service and doing more with less. The cash balance at the end of December 31st, 2012 in the general fund is $1,496,619. The total cash balance at the end of December 2012 for all funds is $12,479,286. And I want to talk about a little bit about the lodger's tax revenues comparisons in that same time frame. When you look at the 3-year history, we're looking at a decline as well that reflects our GRT. When you look at 2010, 2011, we're looking at approximately $526,000. When you look at the lodger's tax for 2011, 2012, you're looking at approximately $494,000, approximately 6% down. And when you look at 2012, 2013, we're estimating that we're going to be down about 10%, down to about $445,000. So the message today is we're seeing a decline, but we're on top of it. We see what we need. We know our responsibility, and we continue to look at any ways to cut and continue investing on the needed services that we need. So many of you will ask, where does the money go? Well, it goes to the services that each department provides for you. I want to, as I said before, I want to thank staff for continuing to deliver the best possible service despite doing more with less. This is a testament to the loyalty and commitment of Town of Taos employees, and is an example of when we unite as a team and work for the common good for you, the taxpayer. Together, it has been proven by this administration that we can exceed expectations. I want to spend a little time on just acknowledging and letting you know where the money goes and what each department's budget is. And I'll begin with the airport Department, which is directed by John Thompson. It's one of our smallest departments, but one of our most significant departments, and has really accomplished a lot in this last year. And one of the notable accomplishments is the memorandum of agreement that after 30 years, close to 30 years of negotiations / failed negotiations, at the table, not at the table, after 25 years, I'm proud to announce that we have a signed memorandum of agreement with Taos Pueblo to move forward with making the airport safe and protecting the World Heritage Site, which is Taos Pueblo. So we are moving forward with that, and that was a major accomplishment that the President of the United States has signed. So thank you to the Pueblo administration for moving this forward. The airport division has an annual operating budget of $142,000 with 2 full-time employees. The Facilities Services Department, which includes our Building Maintenance Division, Convention Services Division, Parks Division, Taos Visitor Center, is directed by Steve Kennebick. Is Steve here? Steve. He's one of our newest employees. Welcome, Steve. That is doing a great job, that has consolidated some of these divisions with an annual operating budget of $1.7 million with 27 full-time employees. The Executive Department, which includes the Mayor's Office, Council Budget, Town Manager, under the direction of Town Manager, Assistant Town Manager Abigail Adame. It also encompasses the clerk who is Renee Lucero, and IT Director who is Ruben Martinez, with an annual operating budget of $1 million and full-time employees of 13. This department is probably the one that interacts with the citizens the most. I want to take note on something that the clerk gave me last year. We're a very open and transparent government because of the nature of our citizens. And people would ask, well, what is the nature of your citizens? Well, there's some citizens that for some reason have a distrust in any government. And I think that trickles down from the distrust that exists at the federal level, the state level, when you see some of the things that are going on. And well, we're at arm's length from these individuals, our citizens. Because of that, we get a lot of public records requests. And I want to tell you that the town of Taos gets about the same public records requests as the city of Alamogordo, Ruidoso, Artesia, and Red River combined. Those are combined. We get more public records requests than the city of Las Cruces. We get more public requests than the city of Rio Rancho. We have 5,000 people. City of Las Cruces has 74,000 people. So that tells you how busy the clerk's office is. So a big round for the clerk's office and the executive department, who also has to facilitate a lot of these public records requests. It really bogs the system down, but we're here to be open and transparent, and we're going to stand up to the challenge. Our finance department, who is led by our director, Marietta S. Fambro, also encompasses the utility billing and customer service division, has an annual operating budget of $1 million with 10 full-time employees. And as I explained, Marietta and the finance department really have the infrastructure of our finances put well together. We have the Human Resources Department directed by Loretta A. Trujillo, who has an annual operating budget of $291,000 with 4 full-time employees. This department I'm very proud of what they've accomplished during this administration. And one of the biggest accomplishments that I really appreciate about the HR department is our committee-based hiring. Not one person is making the decision to hire someone. We involve a committee within the town of Taos that looks for qualifications, but not only qualifications, who is the best fit to serve in that position. So I am convinced that it's a fair, open, and transparent process, and I'm proud of the hiring processes that our HR department has implemented. Our Taos Volunteer Fire Department, and the Town of Taos Fire Department. Under the directorship of Acting Administrative Fire Chief Leroy Gonzalez, has an annual operating budget of $630,000 with eight full-time employees who complete annually over 4,000 hours of safety training to serve the citizens of Taos. The Taos Volunteer Fire Department responded to approximately 462 calls, including 43 structure fires. The average response time is 5 minutes within the municipality and 5 to 8 minutes outside the municipality. Now, we are the Town of Taos Fire Department, but we don't only serve the Town of Taos Fire Department, Town of Taos citizens. Out of those 462 fire calls, 215 are within the town limits, and 247 are outside serving the county. So they have a big plate. They serve a lot of people, and we congratulate the Taos Volunteer Fire Department and the fire department for their excellent service to the town of Taos, to our community. The Judicial Department, under elected Honorable Judge Richard Chavez, has an annual operating budget of $227,000 with 3 full-time employees. And please extend our sincere condolences to Claudette and the loss of her son. The Judicial Department has implemented their full court enterprise software upgrade, which allows for quicker and more efficient service. The judge was explaining that due to the economic downturn, a lot of individuals are making payment agreements because they can't afford some of the fines. I commend the judge for working with these individuals because it saves the town of Taos money, because we can't afford to jail them, because of, they didn't pay their fines. So thank you, Judge, for working with the citizens in ensuring that they timely get their payments paid and working out their payment plan with them. Of course, the legal department has an annual operating budget of $367,000, which has been drastically cut because of the savings that our attorney has saved the town of Taos by his no-nonsense approach and everything he deals with. Has only 2 full-time employees and has done a phenomenal job for the town of Taos. So thank you to Brian and Cindy for an excellent job. The library department is under the leadership of George R. Jaramillo, and I believe we started probably in town government about the same time. Has an annual operating budget of $577,000 with 10 full-time employees. The average traffic per day is 609 individuals. And again, the library is one of those things that we don't serve just the town of Taos. We serve the community. We don't serve a population of 5,000. We serve a population of over 30,000. The number of people who used the library in 2012 was 180,264 people. The number of people who used computers in 2012 was 31,582 people. And the number of CDs, books, CDs, DVDs checked out at the library was over 151,000 people. So it's a quite busy department there. Thank you, George. The Planning and Zoning and Building Department, under the leadership of Bill Morris, who I believe left the town of Taos a couple of days ago, right? Left the town of Taos. So we thank Bill Morris for his service to the town of Taos. He moved back to his hometown of Ruidoso. The Planning Department has an annual operating budget of $541,000 with 8 full-time employees. One of the significant things that I'm proud that the Planning Department has achieved, along with the assistance of the Executive Department and the Legal Department, is addressing the dilapidated blight that we see in the rundown buildings at the town of Taos. The Big B's building is gone. The El Pueblo Cafe is gone. And the Hacienda is well on track to be next. Again, I think it would be fair to say that last year was a bad year for blight and dilapidated buildings in the town of Taos, especially with Brian doing the negotiating with that. He really, along with the planning director, was able to see these come to fruition. Next, we have the Police Department, Communications and Dispatch, under the directorship of Chief Ken Koch, who is one of our newest additions. Mr. Koch comes from Flagstaff, Arizona, with a wealth of experience and is doing an excellent job with our police department. With an annual operating budget of $3 million, this is one of our largest departments, and full-time employees of 44. The police department last year responded to 2,686 calls, to incidents. Total number of arrests was 604. Total number of DUIs, 49. Total number of incidents, 379. One of the things that we're moving forward under the leadership of Ken Koch and our town manager is finding better facilities for our police department. And little did we know, it was right under our nose at Town Hall. With the expansion of Town Hall, we're going to now move the police department, I would think, within a couple of months, within a few months, as long as the council approves the budget costs. And we're going to find the town of Taos police department a new home. It's been long overdue. The police department and planning department and facilities have been focusing on graffiti abatement. Citizens can now file a graffiti report online. We are having community meetings and asking volunteers to assist in the abatement process, and our staff continues to map and locate graffiti throughout the town limits. Of course, we just identified the Public Works, and this is the largest department of the town of Taos, now with the consolidation of public utilities. It includes streets, fleet, water collections, recycling, the landfill, transportation, treatment plant, which is under a contract of CH2 M Hill, and it's under the directorship of the Department of the Year recipient Francisco French Espinosa. With an annual operating budget of $5.4 million, this department now has 46 full-time employees. Public Works services over 2,200 water customers, 23 wastewater customers, maintain over 65 miles of collection lines and 50 miles of road, and maintain 13 parking lots. And lastly, we have our Youth and Family Center under the directorship of Brian Greer, with an annual operating budget of $940,000, with 14 full-time employees. Now, this department is a very important department because it adds to the quality of life of our citizens. I'd like to commend Brian and his staff for working hard and going over and beyond also to attract, do what you've done with the Hockey League. I think it's great that we can attract the Canadians to come and play in one of our facilities, and the many tournaments that you attract. Not only does it enhance the quality of life for our youth in our community, but it also serves as a economic driver for the town of Taos. So thank you for your leadership there. That's the department. Those are the departments, ladies and gentlemen. I want to send a sincere thank you on behalf of the mayor and council to all the departments, department heads, and the employees. I know that sometimes daunting challenges we face can prove to be discouraging and sometimes overwhelming. I want to assure the citizens of this great community that we, the town of Taos, will continue to face those challenges head on with an unwavering commitment to you, the taxpayer. We will treat these challenges as mere bumps in the road. And when we do come up upon those bumps, we will work hard to make it right. There is so much good that goes on here at the town of Taos. And every day, so many positive things happen. There is no doubt that when you build on the positives, our strengths as a community will grow tenfold. I want to sincerely thank you for the honor and privilege in continuing to serve as your mayor. I also want to let you know that I hold in high regard the confidence that you have entrusted in me to lead the town of Taos during these economic times. When I became mayor 4 years ago in 2009, I knew that I would be facing some of the most difficult challenges in Taos' history due to the economic crisis our nation is facing. It has become very clear that the town of Taos is not immune to this global economic crisis. Despite the challenges, we accomplished big things in 2012, and we have even bigger plans for this year. I strongly believe that the town of Taos is the economic engine for northern New Mexico. As I enter my 5th year as mayor, I will continue my one promise to the citizens and the employees of the town of Taos, that I will always base my decisions on the facts presented to me and never lose focus on what is in the best interest of the town of Taos. In a short time, this council has proven to work together to build consensus for the common good of this community. We were elected, all of us, to represent you collectively and democratically. We are committed to ensure that our decisions reflect your goals, your values, and your vision. In this down economy, more than ever, we must unite as a governing body and never lose focus on whom we work for. Furthermore, working together cannot stop with our government working within itself. We must collaborate with other governing entities to combine resources, as we have, for example, with Kit Carson Electric in the partnership that we have formed with them, with the Taos Pueblo, to work together to better serve our citizens. This year, it will be a priority for me to bridge the gap between the town of Taos and the county commission. It is long overdue, and I look forward to Commissioner Breckenridge's leadership. And I will do everything in my power to make it happen. As I have mentioned before, I am compelled to continue repeating this message due to its significance. In this down economy, the responsibility does not stop with government only rolling up our sleeves. Government alone cannot fix the problems of a down economy. And I look to the business leaders. Business leaders, no matter how hard we try to support business and bring tourism to Taos, you must do everything in your power to offer the very best customer service to your customers. Superior quality is not an accessory, it's an absolute necessity. In closing, I leave you with this final message. The state of the town of Taos is solvent and in the black and on the right track. I am confident that with the leadership within each department under the direction of a well-seasoned and experienced manager that we have in Oscar Rodriguez, and the unwavering commitment to the citizens of the town of Taos from your mayor and council, there is nothing too large or too challenging for us to accomplish. We have worked hard and will continue to work hard harmoniously on your behalf to weather this economic crisis. It's going to be a tough year. We all have a huge stake in this. I encourage all Taoseños to become more involved in your government and community. Let's all unite together and continue making the town of Taos the best town in the state of New Mexico. I want to invite everyone to join us for some food and some refreshments after this. And I want to thank you all for being here. May God bless you, and may God bless our beautiful community, the town of Taos. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, is there anything else by the mayor and council that I want to mention this time? If not, entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you, and please join us after this. Thank you.